Hello everybody, welcome, and this is my completed Mansions of Madness miniature set and the board game. I've just finished everything, and as you can see, the cult, the overall theme that I painted this whole thing about is Hastur, the king in yellow, and he who should not be named, that particular elder god. I always thought that he's my favorite elder god, so I decided to theme my set around it. I always find it better that you have a theme, so it motivates you to paint, especially true if there are a lot of models like in this big project. And so let's just go through the parts and we'll explain why I painted it in certain ways and why some models are not as Lovecraft, the author who wrote about this world, describes them. Firstly, alright, we're going to start with the investigation company, which is the front models here. And in recognition to Rodney Smith's great series on board games and how to play them and all, I decided to rename my investigation company the Watch It Played ... right to exclamation marks. Investigation company and the overall theme of the story, I like to rename all the things so that and play like campaign where people don't come back to life, so that there's a feeling of gravity where you don't want the character to die. And so overall story, I'm not going to give a story for everybody, but basically they are led and paid for by Don Tomasino, reference of course that to The Godfather, and he is this guy, which basically he funded it, and he's a mafia kind of guy, but he is funding the company, and I think it gives it some, I don't know where you captured that. Well, if you need better pictures, actually they'll have a link below, so you can see all the links and see all the pictures up close. The cameras, I'm using an iPhone, so that's how it is. And so yeah, so that's the story about them, led by Don Tomasino. He's got all his group here, and as you can see, even with him, his favorite model, the sculpt. And I painted him like he's dressed up with the scenario where you have the priest robes, like the king in yellows, the cults all in yellow, and he is yellow. So yep. So that's the investigation company, and there's, here you go, Ash with the dog Duke, which I renamed. I even painted it like a different color. The dog, a more whitish, brownish kind of dog, mostly a mongrel kind of color. Alright, and then we move on to some of the monsters. Firstly, the Hound of Tinderloss. Hound of Tinderloss, if you read the reference material to it, it's a creature made before one-celled organisms, and I won't give you the whole fluff, but basically to me, they sound like they're formed but not fully formed. That's why I decided to paint them in like a bony color. And because they're blue blood, everything within the scales, everything is like a dark bluish with mixed with a black. Alright, and you see that if you can look at the pictures later on, the links, you can see that the tongues and all, they have this bluish tinge to them. Then you have the Meagle, which are these characters over here. Alright, and they are from Pluto, and Pluto is not a planet anymore, but the history is they still come from there, and they basically can take out brains and fly all the way with their wings and all, with their great technology. You see this taking out brain there, and you can see that. There you go. And yeah, so I decided the world of Pluto I researched is made of rock and ice. So as you can see, I made the softer parts of his body like a grayish kind of color, and the wings and the hard exoskeleton is a white. And to make because they have surgical abilities or something like that, I decided that I wanted to paint the faces instead of open-eyed, like they are, they don't feel the pain. So that's why the heads, you see, I didn't paint any eyeballs in there. And I learned the technique is that you paint a line of black right below the eye, like near the eyelid, so that actually makes them look like, it doesn't look like an eyeball, it looks like they close their eyes, so that's that one. And then I got the two witches here. One is painted in this scheme of the king in yellow over here, and one is painted for like the scenario, which is the green-eyed boy. In fact, you probably can just look at the links and you see the picture. She actually has one eye open with a green eye. Let's try it. Let's see if you can get that. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, yep, that's her. So and more to say, I also painted it differently because it's good to have when you're painting so many models to have a different change of colors and palettes. It makes it much more fresh to paint. And then we have the maniacs, the crazy X building guys. One is of course again painted in the king in yellow theme, and the other is for the first scenario, David Lynch. And I wanted to try painting jeans colors and all that, and the pictures aren't coming out very well when I move it close, so I decide, and I think you just go to the links if you want to see it. Alright, and they have blood coming down the shirts and all. Quite proud of that. Just started learning how to do that. I added a lot of brown to the red, so it's more dried blood. It's not super dry, but it looks like it's not just fresh, you know, because, well, yeah. And then the zombies, all these dead bodies. And before you say I'm racist, the reason why most of the colors are this darkish brown is because I wanted try to get a more authentic color. And what happened was that when I looked for the pictures of dead bodies, yes, I wanted to be that authentic. Truthfully, most of the pictures that came out were of that area, and so I just painted that color scheme. Yeah, even I tried to do this one here with like the blood got drained. You can see some of the dead bodies. If you look at the images, it was pretty hard because I was kept having reference, and basically I was looking at the picture of dead body for hours. Quite uncomfortable, but I tried to get the color right. For this one, almost I didn't feel it came out too well because I wanted to look like blood got drained from the body, but in person it looks okay, but on pictures it looks like it's dusted, which and this one is like he's submerged in water, that kind of dead body color. Again, if you want clearer pictures, just follow the links below. And of course we go to the cults and the cultists of Hastur, yellow and brown, the king in yellow, also known as the cat king. That's why the main colors always yellow and brown. And well, the cultists are done normally. Just make sure that the colors and the blending everything is done right. But for the priests, head priests, the leaders, what happened is that I painted. It's not coming out at all. And you can see, okay, this one you can see there's like normal eyeballs and all. Again, pictures in the links below. All right. And the top of the stuff, like I was inspired by the Ruby O'Reilly, so I decided to just make it red, you know. But for this one, you can see, all right, there we go. There you go. I think you can see that. You can see that the eyes here are like OSL. There's some OSL to that. It took quite a while to do because I'm just starting to learn how to do that. And yeah, he's like you got this cultist leader, and then here's the power up version of him. It's not in the rules, but I thought it was fun to paint OSL, you know, use it for my other armies in the future. And then you got at the back over here the Chthonians, and they have a more metallic color. And the reason why I decided to do that instead of the Lovecraft one is because to me they live thousands of years and they go through the ground. To me, it's like I didn't want to paint the normal colors because I already painted so much brown and all. So I decided like 1,000 years they evolved in a metallic. There's metal around there, so they evolved basically to have almost a metallic skin. And you know how the skin flakes off is when it's rusting. It's almost rusting. It just flake off. You can see I did a lot of browns and all that. I didn't want to make it too subtle, so I just like starting to rust a bit. You know, like yeah. There you go. And added some the blood wash from my brother I learned, and yeah, I think it came out well actually. And of course lastly we go on to the Chthonian, to the Shoggoths, these guys here. Now what I was going for is actually because Shoggoths are shapeshifters, so I wanted to make it like they were shape shifting into the color of the tiles, the wooden tiles here. You can see that. Yep, man. Unfortunately, when you painted it up, because due to the black base and all too, it looks like something else you might think about. So I'm happy with the paint job. That's why I didn't change it. But you know, against better advice, I decided to paint the other one with the Lovecraft colors of black. There you go. Yep, and yeah, I think it came all right. The green eyes, black body. I like it. And there you go. That's the full Mansions of Madness set. And if you want, there are links to the pictures below. Thank you very much.